Monster kill!
Battle begins.
And that might matter when you get slide chained or jumped by the Ember.
Yeah.
So I think that matchup in itself is a little bit worse, but end of the day, he has the front line. He will get tanky enough to hopefully not die to a solo Ember. And
Yeah.
it is a very good sniper game.
You get the gush, Bear will die in seconds.
Plus 7 armor.
7 armor.
All the armor.
And I feel like you don't run out of time in this game. That's the other thing. Like, this time around, Entity might be on... I don't know if they're on a timer, but they probably want to at least build advantage. With Secret, they can hold towers with the...
Oh, it should be fun either way.
This is a fun draft.
It should be, yeah, fun draft, fun game, a fun commentary team as well with MLT and John Expire. MLP.
Thank you so much, Shaper. It is indeed MLP Dota and John Expire. Jonathan, game number 1. I mean, first half of the game looked like it was going to go the way of Secret easily. Entity able to make the comeback happen. What are you thinking about game number 2? How do these drafts look to you, sir?
They look fun, at the least. I mean, the sniper last pick's always exciting for me, because I do enjoy that kind of game. Back and hit as much as you can. I do agree with the panel. Like, this does can just play slow, build up, have this insane high ground with a threat of Ravage, and really good front line to protect the sniper. It is still a bit of concern. Like, your hold for Stormer isn't particularly amazing. Once you get this early BKB on the Ember, which we saw last game as well. When Stormer had that tool, there's no control. There's no stopping him from just jumping around, looking for the back line, clearing out that sniper if it's not protected. It's going to be a bit awkward to find those angles, but it's certainly a possibility for Entity here.
Very, very afraid. T now have very many variations of my name. EO, MLP, MLT. I mean, I just can't get lucky. I just can't get lucky with this damn abbreviation I've come up with, Jonathan. Still, there might be a very early team fight to come out. Entity in Secret, but Entity naturally going to have the high ground of their own dire jungle. But not going to feel too safe trying to go for that early fight. Very nice observable in mid lane. A little bit harder for Stormer here. And the fight could still break out. Secret still posturing very aggressively. Top side of the river as they do make their way into the jungle now. Puppy on the front lines, but a very nice bushwhack. Kataomi. And make sure they can't move too forward. You do still have the option for the Ember in the mid lane. They do wish to rotate around, but at this point it looks like they'd rather just go back to the bounty runes instead. Hell not.
The battle begins.
Be a 3-for-1, I believe. Unless the bear can steal it. And it cannot.
You get a pretty good start here for Secret. Keen to see how this ends up. We are going to have, of course, that sniper mid up against Stormer's Ember. So Nisha versus Stormer. This is interesting. I mean, Sniper does feel like it can play here, but the Ember does have enough jump that it's not a threat. Once you've got the Sleight of Fist, you can still kind of poke and prod. And you do have your Flame Guard to protect from Shrapnel. You do have Nisha going for the level 1 headshot, though, so the harassment is pretty damn annoying for Stormer every single time. That little BB gun comes out, and you just kind of get slowed down, and can't even hit him.
Heroes in the game here, this Sniper. Ever since the Dota All-Stars days, John, it just never gets any easier going up against this hero, and you see Stormer, he's really copying it. You've got the high ground ward as well, so you're going to have constant vision here from Nisha. And if you're Stormer, John, how do you actually play this lane now?
Feels like he's just going to have to try to go for the Sleight of Fist and just kind of clear out the creep wave when he can. The level 1 Flame Guard's just not doing too much for him. He could try for a value point in chains to allow himself to run down Nisha, but this is the issue, right? With the mid lane losing the small camps, a little advantage down mid causes quite the big snowball effect. For Stormer, as long as he keeps parity in terms of EXP, you know, work towards that level 6, you're still pretty alright, but you kind of need to keep that CS up, although he's doing a pretty good job despite the harassment.
To be fair to the man as well, he had a very rough laning stage last game around and still made a great comeback on the Ember, so no doubts about that for this man. The side lanes as well. What do we have at the top lane, perhaps? The Tide from Resolution once again with Zayats and the Techies, and that was a very strong lane in game number 1. I mean, they made it look very, very easy. This time against the Bear of Pure. In fact, hold that thought, because Nisha, he's going to have the damage. He gets lucky with the proc, and it's going to hurt for Stormer. Meanwhile, Zayats play around with Fishman a little bit, but already a great start once again for the side of Secret.
And that's all you could ask for in the Sniper mid. Slow down the Ember, get a kill. You've got take aim already, so you can just pop it on for all the headshots in the world. And for some reason, he tips Pure. So, you know, cross-stepping across the lanes, you can see here. Try to get aggressive, just get plinked away and run.
We've all done that, Jonathan. I mean, you tip Pure accidentally because you're just upset. I think Stormstormer probably just mashed his keyboard there for a moment, or even the mouse. All done it. Puppy. An Acorn shot to fly up, but he's going to be just fine. There's nothing for the Acorn shot to bounce over to. Nisha now dropping rather low himself on this sniper. Stormstormer might be able to kind of harass him back out with the sleight of fists, and certainly is trying to, but Nisha does have the salve. Oh, here we go again. Stormstormer. Can he run? Uphill miss is there. Maybe that actually saves the day for Stormstormer. And meanwhile, top lane, Fishman is going to drop on the Chen. Zayats, he will be chased down here by Pure, but they just can't keep up. In fact, Zayats gets a D-ward going. We'll keep running here from Pure. The Bear, almost there. Just one more right click will do it. Zayats, can he make his way up? It does seem like he can, but here come the rotations. Fishman, he wants his revenge on this Chen, but the TP, it's taking way too long. Zayats, he's going to take the bounty as well. Surely they kill this techies off. Meanwhile, Nisha, oh, he's going to find Stormstormer again, and Zayats, look at this man. He's still all right. He'll go for the deny attempt. Can they get it? Oh, no, they can't get it. Oh, Fishman, that's going to hurt.
He gets slammed by the creep as well, and the slowest from Sticky Bomb just allowing that juke out from Zayak. And again, our sniper just clinging away onto Stormstormer once more. Another kill under Nisha's belt. Solo kills for the sniper. 2-0. The recovery for Stormstormer is going to take some time. Again, we saw this in game 1. You mentioned it, Mike. But without that small camp, it just feels a lot longer than it should.
Oh, absolutely. Nisha really just showing us why the sniper is a very good pick. Look at this. Look at the damage. This just doesn't seem fair to me, Jonathan. Look at this. Stormstormer, he cops like 5 right clicks and he can't lane. He's dead.
No. Right. 2 rate bans and a glove of haste. That's all you need.
Don't get any ideas. These are professionals. I don't want to see mid snipers in my game. No mid snipers.
Do it off lane as well.
Pure.
Just sniper.
A bit of trouble. Rezo won't go for the dive, but just chipping away at Pure on that lone druid. To be very careful again. Just such an aggressive lane here on the top side of Secret. And of course, you're not going to be able to rely on that mid Ember to rotate either, considering how bad of a laning start he's had. In fact, Nisha, he might just take an early mid T1 tower at this rate. Pure was in a bit of danger, but again, he is going to survive through it. But this lane, it's just not going to get any easier for him.
I mean, he's still finding farm despite all that harassment, and he hasn't quite lost his bear, so still kind of building up. Just has to watch his hero.
Oh, I think he's gone here, John. Pure, he's going to try to run, but there's no chance. It's just way too much slow. And look at this once again, Nisha. Look at the skill here from the sniper, John. He's pressing so many buttons right now.
Reminds me of the Raid King of old. You press one button and you just run down and you have a good time. Stormstormer is like 2 levels behind here, Mike. This is not a good sign for him. Again, he can still find ways to make this work, but you're going to have to deal with a fairly farmed sniper with a lot of protection this game.
On the brighter side, Nisha has bought 2 or 3 salves now. So you do have a bit of gold going back the way of that regen, but I don't think Nisha minds it back. Stormstormer, leave the man alone. Leave him alone. Nisha, he's not going to be able to finish the job this time. In fact, Kataomi is going to be there, but he cannot stick around either. Not against Nisha on this sniper. They've got to back their way out. Still playing around here with the sniper as Fishman. Also going to show up on the Chen. Looking for maybe the Penitence and the Arc Lightning, but not going to be able to find it. Nisha's still playing around. Here comes the Tate Lightning, but now they've got the Assassinate Fishman. He's going to survive through it. But this sniper is terrorizing the side of Entity right now as Zayak, not again. He does it again.
He just dodges out. At the very least, they do take the regen away from Nisha, so you know, Nisha's not going to be freely resetting, but he just buys another salve anyway. Who cares? Just stay in that lane, keep forcing all this movement out. 3 heroes rotating mid, or two tree heroes rotating mid for a sniper, and they don't find anything. It's like, that's so much space for the side lanes.
Oh, it's really detrimental here for Entity, that's for sure. How are those side lanes? Can we even have a look at the side lanes right now? This mid lane has been so action-packed. Pure's still struggling, only 2.2k net worth right now on the Lone Druid. Again, a very difficult lane, even for the Lone Druid and his Spirit Bear to play with. Rezo, just with Zayats being so effective, making Pure feel very uncomfortable in this top lane. And how's the bot lane been going? What's been happening there? Chrysalis, having a great old time.
There's nothing to really stop him. It's Bristle back at 5 now.
Stormstormer, nice dodge on the stun. Obviously still not level 6 yet, so doesn't have the remnants to get out, but he can't even get close. It just doesn't seem fair, John.
I always have a bit of a giggle when you just see that one headshot come out. It's just so funny. Look, it's just it's sad. You do not want to be in the receiving end. And
You're a real
again,
sicko, John.
I mean, I love playing sniper.
Oh,
And again,
Zayat. He's been all over the place, but he cannot secure the kill. Nice juke out with the slider fist once again to block off most of that damage. Rather juke out most of that damage, and Stormer, at least he'll have brown boots up now. Jonathan, he can run back to the fountain a little bit faster. Fishman, he might have to do the same very soon. In fact, never mind. He'll get a free TP here from the side of Secret. Bye-bye, Fishman.
this feels like a pub game. It just feels like when you have 6 heroes mid, it just goes ham, you know?
You don't have to tell me, Joe. You don't have to tell me. I play in the SCA server. I know. Trust me. Top lane, Pure. Just can't deal with Rezo. Like, even with the Spirit Bear up, Rezo's just happy to man up against it, and Pure just forced to respawn it.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a really good time. Like, Resolution's holding a solo lane, has the Ring of Help, can just kind of farm and annoy the bear. Like, the Anchor Smash still kind of slows down that farming pace for Pure. And they already have forward wards here from Secret anyway. They know when someone's going to go into that jungle, they're going to be able to contest. And it's just still free space for Crystallis. Every single thing on the map's just lining up for Secret. Now remember, Game 1 kind of went the same story. So it's on Secret to kind of show us that they can fix that later part of the game. Because Entity, they can hold well. They can find farm.
Yeah.
And if they do manage to build up, that's still a lone druid. You've got some different itemization you can try to gun for on the Chen down the line. The Ags is a very interesting prospect, although whether or not you can farm it is a different question.
Yeah.
And you know they've got that prowess towards the late game. Like, even the sources of break on Kataomi, right? Like with the Ags and the decoy giving you another sharpshooter, it could be big.
Speaking of Kataomi, here he is. Rezo, but realizing he still cannot help deal with the tide. Prior to that level 6 mark, you need that sharpshooter for the break. Now, just trying to protect Storm and allow that catch-up mechanic, but Rezo, they've got the vision on the high ground, so they know exactly what Storm is up to, and we are going to have a casual pause to come out. Quick pause here, but that's going to be a little bit awkward for Entity, considering they are currently being watched, so you might be able to set up here onto the Ember. So we see Storm and a little bit of a replay. Very nice juke out with the sleight of fist. Duke's absolutely everything here. In fact,
5 Ember, it's a level 9 sniper. I mean, it doesn't quite feel playable just yet. Once he does have a Remnants, it's going to be harder to pin him down, but he's not even being given that EXP. They're just running in that jungle.
certainly so. Very, very nice kind of aggression here from Secret, realizing how far they can push these heroes, and Rezo, he's just got no fear in the world. Again, you don't have Sharpshooter, you don't have the break, Zayat's incoming, so is Puppey. They will make sure Resolution remains protected. And Stormer, he will be starved in his own jungle.
He's getting some of that EXP, but my god, that's just so much space.
Goodness. Look at that, John. Look at the difference.
Massive.
Yeah.
I mean, just, I don't know, like, this Ember is the one that's supposed to take care of the sniper, but it's just so far behind. They might find some punishment.
Could be the first kill of the game here for Entity if they are able to secure the support Sven. Problem is, John, in the meantime, you have lost the mid-tier 1 tower, so Puppey will be more than happy to die for their trouble. You got the mid-tier 1 out of that. No defense to come out for Entity, and just a great trade overall for Secret. And that makes life a lot harder for the Ember now, because you are trying to rely on the jungle to farm up and catch up on this Ember Spirit. Without the mid-tier 1 tower, suddenly Secret, they can infiltrate to the jungle. Sure, you still have your Dire Triangle, but it's not the greatest place to farm for an Ember.
Definitely not. And you're going to have to share that farm with your lone druid down the line if he does want to use the jungle as well. And the wards here from Secret have been on point, kind of spotting the forward jungle there. And the concern is, you see this confidence on Nisha. He's going for a Midas on the sniper here, along with Massive Madness. They find a bear.
Cruelty going on here. Pure able to get him out though. Savage draw to push them back. Secret still having a look around to see if they can find Pure Spirit Bear. Naomi though is around, maybe just baiting his Puppey. Tumbler's toy, but the respawn was there in time, so no bonus called for the side of Secret as Puppey does get baited in by Pure. Very nice bait coming out from Entity now, finding their second kill of the game.
Get the punishment for the overcommittal out from Secret. No, not quite enough mana out from Resolution to kind of threaten with Ravage and kind of group her up around that, so Entity do manage to hold on. They need as many of these towers as possible, right? The top, maybe with the mid gone, it's a little bit harder to hold that jungle. It's still some room you need. one thing they haven't really addressed, they've kind of been playing on mid and on top. They haven't addressed Crystallis at all. Like, he's got the Vanguard up, he's rushing the Ags on that Bristleback.
Oh my.
It's going to be very scary once you have that durable front line. You're going to have to be on point here in Kataomi to get that break.
There's a lot of gold sitting in that Radiant Triangle as well, Jonathan. And look at that. There's the Bristle. Crystallis, he smells it. Something's cooking in this triangle, and he's found himself a lot of gold here. Now, this is the dream for any Bristleback player. Just sit there, you press your W button, have your back to the Ancients, no problem. Crystallis, he'll get it done by himself.
And he's got the space. Like, no one from Entity can invade. They haven't been able to go out for a Warden run on the forward part of this map. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that Bristleback's just going to be massive. The Midas is up on Nisha, going for the Mask of Madness. His attack speed's going to be through the roof. Once the Dragonlance is up, you will really rely on Stormstormer to just get something done. And it's still a ways off from his items.
1.4k off neutral so far. Like that 1.468. A lot of gold. Love to see it here for Secret. 4k advantage now their way. You did kind of point out as well, Entity game 1, they did manage to make a nice comeback happen after the mid game. Very good decision making being made by Entity to push the game back their way. They definitely have the same opportunity. It just feels like you need one to two good team fights here for the side of Entity, and suddenly the game will be kind of flipped on top of its head. But for now, it just doesn't seem like they'll have any kind of opening to try and make that good team fight happen.
It's tough. They're stalling, they're avoiding these confrontations, they're playing in what parts of the map they still have control of. And, you know, they've managed to keep the net worth lead down to just 4k. It's not expanding, so it's not like Secret's getting much more than Entity. They're keeping parity, although.
Bot lane, they'll find the Visage. Nice easy pick off here. Zayats and Rezo able to set up, and they'll even find the Familiars. Stormstormer, he tries to help out, but there's not much he can do, and look who he's run into. Nisha, leave the man alone. You've already terrorized him during the laning stage. Stormstormer, he'll keep trying to run, but Nisha's not backing off. Puppy's there to back him up as well. Nice pushback though, Kataomi. Gonna return it back the way of Puppy, and maybe they can find a decent trade for themselves, but the uphill miss is there. Puppy, does he actually get his way out? Not quite. Fishman, actually picking up all kills for the side of Entity so far, now on a killing spree.
I mean, these kills are important to find. It's just unfortunate that it's the Chen finding them. Still, that should lead to a nice mech timing, you know, a little bit more sustain up front. So there's some value coming out there. And you do save Stormstormer. So your Ember is still farming up, working onto the Maelstrom as we saw him kind of work towards in Game 1 as well. And that can provide a little bit more damage. I think you're looking for the BK. You're going to want the BKBs up on a couple of these cores, or at the very least the Ember, so you can take care of the back line. And once you do have that spell immunity, you're not going to have anything at all to deal with that here.
Stormer, juke out on the stun once again. Puppy obviously going to have a lot of problems landing a stun here on Stormstormer as the high five's up. Stormer, even with a terrible landing stage, does feel very confident. And then you see the Remnant anyway. Nobody around to try and hunt Stormstormer down. He does go towards the Remnant. Not quite yet at least. And well, there you go. He's just fine.
Playing tag. And with that kind of movement, it does tell you where everyone's playing or not playing. They don't collapse on the Ember. They know that they've got some room elsewhere with a -1 on the map for a Secret to kind of gank up with. And they're doing a good job of just giving Pure some space to breed, giving Toby some room to farm up into the Vlads and maybe into that Wraith pack, and just kind of play that slower game. Again, it's only a 4k lead. It's a big lead at 15 minutes in, but it's not growing. So Entity is keeping up.
You do have the Deso on the Spirit Bear as well, so you've certainly got some damage to be pumped out here from the Spirit Bear. They do actually smoke up. Stormstormer and Fishman, along with all the creeps. They're way over, but smoke already broken on one of those creeps for the Chen. I don't believe it was actually spotted, though, by the side of Secret. Vision. Quite in time, I don't think, though. I say that, Resolution is making his way over. It's a bit of a pincer move coming out from Secret. Spirit Bear will be targeted, and Puppy trying to bait them in. This could be a massive bait from Puppy. Bushwhack's not going to land. Kataomi, he's still going. Stormstormer, he'll move in as well. Where's the backup? Rezo, he's decided to go into the Chen instead. So they'll let the Sven die. They'll try to at least find a bit of a support trade here. Rezo, he'll keep going, but he's going to be forced to pop that Ravage if he wants to kill, and he will not. Great blocks by the Chen creeps. Fishman, he will survive this time around.
They're just kind of poking and prodding on Entity, finding what they can, backing off, not allowing Secret to play around with their durability, with their massive team fight and Ravage. And that stall game is kind of panning out. Sure, they lose a bear, Pure has to resummon to kind of get that kill on Puppey, but the movement of Secret isn't quite panning out.
Stormer, silence is there. They've got the Ravage to play with. If they do wish, Storm is going to hit in resolution. He will pop the Ravage in the end. That's the nice thing. You get that silence off with Zion, so you do have the follow-up Storm Hammer. Of course, resolution not going to hesitate to pop the Ravage for a mid-ember like that.
And that is going to be a pretty long cooldown for Secret to kind of play tempo around, and that still provides relief for Entity. They know that Resolution's not going to be running around looking for a big setup for his kill opportunity. That's more space for Pure to just keep farming, for Toby to, again, try to work onto that rate pack and just keep that stall game. So it's still working in what Entity wants to do, because this was kind of the point where we saw Secret slow down. You know, they didn't pierce tier 2s that early on. They didn't really manage to start or constantly invade that jungle in Resolution.
Rezo maybe getting a little bit too overly confident here. Does get broken up and rooted up by Pure Spirit Bear. He's still a very tanky boy, but not quite tanky enough. That's a massive kill for Stormer. And if you're Secret, those are the kind of kills you need to be worried about giving away back to the side of Entity. With quite a bit of gold on this tide, a bit too overly confident in his ability to be able to tank through it.
Still on the hunt. Hey, have a hint where Puppey's at.
Find him, Puppey. Run towards the north, back into that dire triangle, and find his way out of this. He does have a TP available, but he is very worried about getting scattered out by the familiars of Toby. He is probably going to be just fine. He from the low ground, and they will not be able to find him. Back into the mid lane they go. Stormer, chillin'. There's a blast off into the stun. Stormhammer out as well. Mine's out as well, but it's not going to be quite enough. Stormer barely survives through it. My goodness.
Yeah, that was tight. The Hand of God definitely giving him that buffer to just kind of live through that one. And it's a valiant attempt, though. That's just two supports making the jump in. No cores were really there for that.
You go again. Stun out. This time they'll find Fishman on the Chen. Puppey may have sacrificed himself for this, though, and Fishman, he's not down yet, but here comes Crystallis. You've got the Ags up on the Bristleback. Very scary timing now for Entity to try and deal with. They will chase down Stormer in the mid lane. For a bit of a run. Remnant's back up in one. In fact, he already had one out anyway. He's perfectly fine. No stress for him. Secret, yeah, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade anyway on the supports. Not too big of a deal for either team.
I think the one thing that Entity is losing out on is it's Secret that's taking the initiative. They're the ones going into the enemy jungle. They're the ones cutting off map space. Entity aren't able to really use that bot jungle all too much. Toby is there though, but that's giving them the room they need to just clear out Roshan. With that Ags up on Crystallis, with the minus armor coming through from Rezo as well, this really doesn't take too long.
Absolutely not. Nazelku plus a sniper. Going to be a very, very fast process here for Secret. Stormer will hang around the Radiant jungle. Puppey seems to know he's around here somewhere. Will eventually spot him out, but no. Barely misses out for now, so Stormer going to be just fine. That Secret, they have smoked up as 3, moving towards the north into that dire jungle. Kataomi might be the one to be spotted, but he will try to scurry away out of this. Blast off is there, though. Lock him down and take him out. And Secret, with the Aegis up, they might just keep going. Spirit Bear is going to survive through the damage of Crystallis, but they might start chipping away at that mid-tier 2 tower. In fact, they want to try and set up onto Toby here on that Visage, but he is going to back off at that right moment. And instead, they'll leave Nisha try and deal with that mid-tier 2, and he'll have no problems whatsoever.
Just poking away. Look at that range. Very beautiful coming out from the sniper.
Very balanced.
Very balanced hero. And they just clear out the creep wave. The front line's doing their job. They are trying to push as well down bot for Entity. Puppey is there to keep eye. And he does have his shard. So he's a lot tankier when he does get that Warcry going at the very least, and shouldn't just melt to the output of the Visage or anyone really trying to right-click him down.
Good go, Secret. Another pincer maneuver here against Entity. Trap them in this Radiant jungle, but Pure gonna back his way out. Double TP's out, in fact. The Spirit Bear, they're not gonna make it. They'll have to leave the Bear behind. Savage Roar is there, but it won't matter. Plus 300 for Zayats.
Yeah, you're happy enough. It's not a hero, but of course the summon out once more from Pure, so there's a window here. If you see that bear, take it out. You're just dealing with a creep with 2 iron branches. Not very impressive on that main hero, as it tends to be. And they defend their tier 2. Like, just a movement like that. The ward did give information for Entity to back off, but the objective stands. I mean, Secret's map is still really, really big. Tier 1 still holding top and mid. The tier 2 holding down bot, so the bot jungle still open for them to contest. Entity's it's starting to lag behind now. Right? We were mentioning a while ago they kept it in even 4K for a long time. Now it's 8K. It's doubling up for Secret.
It does feel like they are still in a position where they just need one good team fight, but that team fight just has not come. What do you think Entity really need to do to try and make that opening happen? Like, is there a certain item timing you think would make the changes they need here?
Stormers BKB.
Right.
It's around the same timing in game 1 as well, where he got the BKB and they got multiple BKBs under cores with Pure and Pudge, and they just ran in with that spell. I mean, the same thing holds, except it's only really him who benefits from the BKB here.
Oh, Naomi. It's not a very fun position for him. He's just gone. So much damage from this Bristleback. Into the top tier 2 tower they go. Still holding on to that Aegis here for Nisha. And Secret, they know how strong they are right now. They might just go high ground onto the tier 3 tower. You have Nisha on the sniper, he can just hit from a mile away. Nothing to stop him. And you have the tank of Crystallis. He'll just tank all the tier 3 tower hits. Entity forced to try and defend somehow. Fishman will try to back his way out, but it's just so much damage. You can't get close.
You really can't. And the hold of Entity here, it's not the most amazing thing in the world. The wave clear isn't quite there. They've got the creep army here.
Oh, Ravage is out. They found Toby on the Visage. Can they take him out, though? A great bushwhack to save the day for now, but Crystallis, he'll pop the BKB right back on Toby. They'll take another. Onto the tier 3 tower once again. That'll drop. Pure trying to force them back with the Savage Roar, but it's not going to be enough. Pure, he'll lose another Spirit Bear. Respawning up immediately, but how do you stop Secret? They are not backing off. Not quite yet. Don't have the break from this Hoodwink either right now. It's a bit awkward trying to do with Crystallis or Resolution as Pure.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's going to lose another pair now. It just becomes impossible at this point to try and defend at least this top lane of Barracks, but John, they don't have a mid-tier 2 tower either. They could just go right down to the mid lane and find another.
Yeah, they could just go for... Heck, they could go for the end game.
Last off, perfect timing. Stormer, he's gone. Secret, they'll dive right in. Why not? Buffet available in the Dire Fountain, and then they go into the mid lane. Tier 3 tower just not going to last at this rate.
And again, just the high ground defense of Entity, there's not much to play with. You don't have massive teamfight spells. You're really relying on a good Savage Roar or a good Bushwhack, Acorn Shot combo with a tree. And your follow-up just doesn't feel amazing. It's not like you're heavily itemized here on Toby just yet to do some damage. No Ags up to have the familiars dance around, and right-click heroes down. And again, you're still just relying on the Ember to jump the sniper, but at this point you have so many things to deal with on the front line. This duo of 2 tanky cores are just unstoppable at the moment.
Certainly is, John. Certainly is. Lines drawn out right towards the south side of the map. They know exactly where Entity are trying to farm right now. It's been the only position they can try to farm it. Secret, do they go down bot? Do they hang around mid? They know Stormers around there somewhere. Maybe hoping someone goes to the low ground and just secure another pickoff. And there you go, the blast off again. Perfect timing. No BKB available to save the day, and now they'll go right up to Kataomi. That should be another. In fact, Toby, he'll try to run his way up, but there's no running. Just too much damage. Secret, they might just start on the tier 4 towers now.
Yeah, I mean, this is just disgusting. You've got the Desolator on Nisha, you've got the minus armor from Gu, minus armor from Gosh. They just die.
Revolting.
There's just no way you stop this. Again, onto the high ground. There's just no defense, no buyback in the Visage. They'll try, though.
More animal cruelty to come out here against the Spirit Bear. Pure, gonna lose another one. Stormer, he jumped in. They call the GG. They've seen enough. They know the Ember's gone. No survival for the side of Entity as they will drop game number 2 in Secret. Managed to force the tie here 1-1 in this best of 2 series. But what a series it was, John.
Yeah, this time around...